Down by the bay.
Down by the bay.
Where the watermelons grow.
Where the watermelons grow.
Back to my home.
Back to my home.
I dare not go.
I dare not go.
For if I do.
For if I do.
My mother will say.
Did you ever see the drummer boy hitting Ty's mama?
You know my mom listens to this, right?
Remix.
You know my mom just started listening to this, right?
I didn't know.
This is already better than the first one.
What's up, y'all? We back again.
Oh.
How's everyone doing tonight, or
What?
today, or this morning?
You in deep shit then.
God damn, I need a break.
You better tell your mom. What's going on?
I don't know if you made it this far in all of my podcasts, but
It's over a minute in, but
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Look, my mom came in the other day. She saw our episode with Jakor, I think, and she was just like, actually, no, she's seen the episode where I was talking about if I had a clit, I would rub that shit.
oh,
So, okay, hold on, time out. So when that one came out, I was at my parents' house in Vacaville, and I had it on. I was watching the YouTube channel again, and I had it super fucking loud. And I know my phone is loud because I even had my mom would be in the other room like, "Wow, what are you listening to? The TV?" I was like, "No, my phone." And then the fucking first thing tells me, if I had it clear, it's like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "No." I didn't hear my mom. Are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, well, I'm not listening to that one until I get in the car.
Oh shit, I'm so sorry.
And the thing is, like, I knew it was just that one piece of it. So
Yeah.
still, I was like, I don't remember what Ty says afterwards.
it's just awkward silence. So we're just like,
Okay.
Oh. All right.
I already like the vibe this time better than last time.
I'm just letting y'all know I like my starts and my ends, all right?
Yeah,
I take pride in that.
he's just shitty in the middle.
Yeah, that is true.
Pretty much. Yeah, I'm silent majority of the podcast unless Robert be like, "What about you, Ty?" I'm like, "What about
Yeah,
you?"
I try and ask you because otherwise you don't say shit.
Yeah, you
Sometimes.
guys be so engaged.
Unless you get a story and then you talk.
Like I do. So I'm just waiting on the opportunity to speak, and then when I'm ready to speak, we be like, "All right, next topic." I'm like, "Okay,
I'm sorry, Ty.
it's all right. It wasn't my time. That's all it meant."
Hey, fuck off. Last podcast, you and Chris wouldn't stop. We couldn't get on any topics.
Well, that's just
Y'all
Chris
motherfuckers
every
wouldn't shut
podcast.
up.
He does that to all of us, though.
That's true. He
All
does.
right.
He does. So
What?
fucking Chris.
Damn.
It's a good thing.
If you say hello to him, he would get distracted.
True.
That's true.
Well, I mean, that's kind of how you distract people, kind of. When you say
You say
hello,
hello.
you expect a response of like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? How are you?"
That's
Or
true.
you
Good
just,
evening.
Or you just give them
Good
this.
night.
We got a request to do more songs on the podcast where we all sing together.
Wait,
By who?
By who?
I don't know. It was
Yeah.
it was a like I suspect a few people,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It
Oh, it
was
was
on,
anonymous.
Was
yeah,
it the
it was
Indians?
it was on YouTube and
Sure.
somebody commented and so.
Yeah.
Probably was the Indians.
We should probably.
What you got against us?
Nothing. They're like our top listeners right now.
That's true.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
No, they're like 5%. But
That's-
still.
that's the majority of our. That's the majority of our.
Hey,
group.
that's,
They listen religiously. Okay?
Yo, you know when I put a shout out on the Instagram,
Yeah.
that got like the most likes. Like
What?
there was one story that I put where I said shout out to our Indian viewership, and I put a like or dislike button,
Yeah.
and that one got like more votes than anything else I've ever put in.
No
That's
way.
Wow.
So I mean it's cool.
All right.
I'm glad.
So
We got y'all.
it sounds like our Instagram followers need to do a better job. Nah, I'm just.
Or at least our American Instagram followers. Our Indian Instagram followers are doing fucking awesome.
Yeah, you guys. I love you guys. all
Love
right?
y'all. Don't know y'all.
We don't
But I love
understand
y'all.
y'all.
That's
But-
true.
And to the rest of y'all.
Well, I mean, we
Step
probably
your
couldn't.
game up.
We probably couldn't understand them.
Sorry, we love you.
Nah, I was gonna say something that was
We just
bleep
gotta
worthy.
book the
I'm
time.
good.
That was bleep worthy.
Yeah.
I like that term.
Yeah,
bleep
you were
worthy.
Well, maybe
worthy?
if you say something that's bleep worthy,
What
it
is
might not
bleep
get
worthy?
bleeped because it was just that worthy.
Get it. Get it. Now's your opportunity. You better fucking say it or forever hold
Don't-
your peace.
Don't
Give us
fuck
the
it up.
schmeat.
Don't
Get
give
it.
Yeah, you're disgusting. Y'all disgusting. All right, so what are we talking about today, huh, George?
Okay, so we're just gonna go straight into guy. All right.
Wait,
all
are
right.
you even doing
Sometimes you just gotta say fuck it and go for it.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
because people are disgusting.
Yep.
People are discussing.
That's
Speaking
true.
of discussing,
Just look at me. God damn.
No,
all
no,
right.
no,
Dude,
all right.
do you want me
Speaking
to-
of discussing, you guys have all heard of this freaking Jeffrey Epstein situation, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
I
little
just
bit
heard
of it?
about it.
Yeah.
You've heard about it?
He
I heard
just
some of it.
heard
As I
about
heard
it.
about
As
it,
of 30
everybody heard
seconds ago, yes, I heard
I
you
texted
say
it to the group.
Well, then I read about it.
Yeah.
Nah, all right.
Then I heard about it.
Robert, can you explain?
Yeah. All right. So Jeffrey Epstein was kind of this famous person who was friends with a lot of other famous people: Prince Charles, Donald Trump,
Yeah.
Bill Clinton, etc. And he was brought down by the FBI for running a sex trafficking ring
Dang.
of very young women. And so he was put in jail, and then the two guards that were meant to be watching him supposedly fell asleep while he was in jail.
That's crazy.
And then the camera glitched and somehow stopped working in his cell.
Yeah.
And when it started working again, he had hung himself. Right? Then they brought in a coroner who said, yeah, it was a suicide. And then they brought in an external coroner who ruled the opposite and said that it was a murder. Right? So a lot of people are suggesting that he was killed because they wanted to cover up what he would have exposed.
Yeah. Well, think about it. He's tied to a lot of
Famous
high-powered
people, yeah.
Famous people, high-powered people, and they're all connected to him. And I mean, something that big, how do you not know about it being a friend of his,
Yeah.
It's like, how do you just hide something that big?
Well, I mean, Ty's been hiding that he's gay, so I mean, I don't know.
I mean, he tries to hide it.
Yeah.
We figured
That
it
is
out a
true.
while
I'm
back.
not
That is
debating.
true.
It's like second day we met.
I'm
him.
not. I won't join them. I'll stick with you.
What?
I see. He started this.
I've
gay,
faithfully
this gay
been knocking
relationship.
poom poom since the day I was born. What are y'all talking about?
Yeah.
It's a religion to me.
Right.
All right, hold on.
I slid out the poom poom.
Yeah. Didn't you hear he's on number 20?
Oh shit! When did you jump up from the last podcast?
Exactly. So,
So what do you guys think? What do you think it's a cover up? You think he really did kill himself? What are your thoughts? Oh, you know what? Somebody being over here.
Ty, take it away. This is your opportunity. Go.
I like it when Robert does it because you did that weird.
It's okay, Ty.
Bitch, I was trying to divert
Ty-
the attention, so get it.
Ty, what do you think?
It's conspiracies.
All right, Chris, what do you think?
I mean,
Give him that's the bleep moment. Right there.
Conspiracies.
that,
The Illuminati is real, y'all.
he had one job. He had one job,
All
and he
right.
fucked it up.
We gave him the opportunity.
The third eye is open.
Your eye is open.
They're always open.
Not when you're
Not
asleep.
Not that one.
He said
Yeah,
your eye.
that's how I got to number 20.
Okay. So,
All right,
Chris.
all
right.
Chris, what are your thoughts? What do
I
you
mean,
think?
let's see. Roll it as a homicide. Definitely. How could a camera glitch and people claim, "Oh, we fell asleep," and you can't hear the fucking things going on in the background? Like, I mean, if it's you watching him, he's in the cell. It's bound to be really fucking quiet.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear all the shit that's going on. You're either willfully blinding yourself and refusing to acknowledge it, or you're just a co-conspirator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously,
Well, they were speaking on that. They were brought up on criminal charges.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
they were caught lying, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Yeah.
They were
So-
lying about the whole thing.
The guards?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because I mean, one of the guards fell asleep. I can buy that. One of them fell asleep, but both of them falling asleep at the exact same time.
Exactly.
Hey, bro.
That's a little.
Yeah.
Too,
Hey, bro.
That's a little
Yeah.
too coincidental. And of all things, that one camera glitched.
Hey, bro.
Plus, he
Yeah.
was on
you want to take a
suicide
nap
watch.
together, bro?
Mm.
You want to take a nap together? Yeah.
You know what? We're gonna bleep out everything you say.
Let's take a nap together.
Now he wants to say something.
Yeah, all of a
now
sudden.
he wants to say
now
I
something.
mean,
you wanna say something.
y'all walked right over what I want to say.
What did you want to say? All right,
I
go,
was just
go,
getting
go.
started.
Get it,
I have
get
to
it.
stir
Go.
my pot.
Go
with
go.
conspiracy.
Oh my god.
All right.
All right, go. Come on.
Continue.
All right, conspiracy. Do you not hear the evidence that's being brought to the table? All right, you have somebody who coincidentally committed suicide as the guards took a nap.
Hello? No, I'm not doing it.
Well, I mean, obviously, if you're questioning suicide, the only. I mean, if you're questioning suicide, the only other option is homicide.
Scooby Doo? We
I
need
mean, you could. It's not the only other option, but in this scenario, it would be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, in
It's
this
like-
scenario, it would be homicide. You have people. You have the evidence. The camera glitched. 2 guards apparently fell asleep during the night watch or
Dun,
when they were
dun,
supposed to be
dun.
watching him. The only logical explanation for this, I mean, in my opinion, would be you have a conspiracy going on.
Yeah.
People, yeah, your
Yeah.
conspiracy.
Conspiracy.
But
Yeah.
it's not your type of conspiracy.
What the fuck you mean by that?
All right,
You're claiming
a conspiracy within the government. I'm claiming a conspiracy as in people working together to actually kill this guy.
So
I
the
don't-
people in
I
the jail
think-
cell actually working
It's
together?
it's an agreement to engage in criminal activity.
I don't know which one is. I mean, I think they both could be accurate. I mean, I covered the fact that Donald Trump and many of his senior aides have been related to this guy.
Yeah.
So the government could just as easily be involved in it as anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't personally believe that the Illuminati exists anymore. I do believe in other secret groups, but in terms of
He's
there
got ties
it
back
being.
now. Are you?
I get ties back when I agree with him, and I do think that there's
He does.
there's a possibility of it being that widespread, of it not just
You
being.
don't like me,
Yeah.
remember?
And it's also something that's like, it's so rare for it to legitimately be possible that
Yeah.
there is a conspiracy this big. But I think it's possible. I don't think we should rule it out and just say, because we don't see it very often, that it's not the case.
All right. Now let's think hitmen for hire. Could these guards have been the ones to kill them?
I mean, definitely plausible. I mean,
I don't think so, though. Personally.
plausible. Not saying it's a yes, but not saying it's a no.
Yeah.
Plausible because they're the closest to him. Did he share a jail cell or was it just him?
I believe it was just him because he was on suicide watch before this.
Yeah.
So he had his own cell.
And were the
that's a
were the
great
guards outside of his cell or were they in a separate holding area?
I believe they
had-
were in a separate holding area, supposedly meant to be looking at the cameras.
But they fell asleep.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Yeah. All of a sudden. But
Well,
It
Yeah.
definitely was an
it's
inside
weird. I
man.
mean, I understand these guys. They might be paramilitary. They might not. But just taking the same concept of like whenever somebody's taking watch, and you always have a battle buddy. So if your battle buddy wants to take a nap, you gotta stand watch because that's now your responsibility. And then you switch it if you want to take a sleep, you want to take a nap now. Then your battle buddy watches for however long, and you go back and forth. Somebody always has to be watching. So the simple fact that they both said, "Oh yeah, we fell asleep," fucking bullshit. That's fucking rule number 1. No, somebody stays awake while the other one takes a nap, or you both stay awake.
What happened
your
is
fucking duty.
they let an inside man get past them.
Well, obviously, but that's
Dun dun dun.
I'd like to see their finances. I'd like to see who, like, if anybody got paid any like large amounts or anything like that.
probably.
Because
Now we're
that to
talking
me makes the
bounces.
most sense. Because even if you're just bad at your job, I don't see a way that both of you would fall asleep at the same time
Hell
and
no.
just not notice that.
Your knowledge, your
For me,
presence,
what
and your benefits.
what gets me the most is the simple fact that
Let's
they
look
both
at that.
had the same excuse, and the camera coincidentally glitched at that very moment. Was it the one camera or was it all cameras?
I think it was that one camera.
That one camera specifically.
Yeah.
Fucking. That's just too. There's too many things happening.
It
at
seems
once.
obvious almost.
Yeah.
It's like there shouldn't even be a question that something suspicious was going on.
Yes.
It was John.
It was.
Motherfucker.
I believe
mean,
it.
I
I believe
probably
it.
was.
John and Jakor.
Yeah.
They were both. They were the.
They were there.
This is why we don't bring guests on our podcast.
God.
We're just
Fucking
bad
do it.
influences.
Damn you, John. Hey, I'm playing John in the film.
Ah.
That's it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Damn you,
different
John.
Different John.
Damn you.
All
All right, we found the conspirator.
Was it you?
No, it was John.
Oh, okay.
I'm Jorge Alberto.
So,
So you say.
but from in legal terms, because
That's
one of the things I wanted to ask you, Chris, is I think obviously these people are probably going to be brought to justice. Just the guards, and at least the way things have been going so far. But let me finish. Let me get to my point. So, but what I don't really care about the guards. I care about whoever orchestrated it to try and kill Jeffrey Epstein, right? what do you think the chances are, and what would have to happen in order for that for that person to be found and caught and tried and put in jail?
All right, let's look at the evidence. Who is the top man? How rich is this person? They say money doesn't speak in the legal system, but it does.
Money, of
It
course,
does.
It does.
speaks in the
It
legal
is.
system. Everybody
Yeah,
fucking
everybody
knows.
knows. Look at OJ.
Everybody.
Yeah, but I mean,
And I'm illiterate.
Well, we all are.
I mean, if you're well, technically illiterate means you can't read. I get it. You gotta say ignorant. You ignorant. Anyway.
Love you.
Sorry, honey.
I
Anyway,
strike the kid.
Anyway, so what do you think?
I mean, let's see. You gotta collect a shitload of evidence. If you can't get these guards to talk, you ain't getting shit. If these people are really benefiting from just taking the fall, like huge, I mean, these people are likely to get away with it. If you can't convince the jury beyond a reasonable doubt, I mean,
I think if anything, the only ones that probably will take the fall is the guards.
yeah, the guards.
That's how I feel, and that
Yeah.
upsets me because
Yeah.
that's, to be honest, I could care less about them.
There's always a fall guy.
Yeah.
And in this situation, there's two fall people.
Mm-hmm.
They fell. Well, so what? The job got done, right?
See,
Whoever orchestrated it all
Must have
obviously
given them a
understands
reasonable amount to take it.
and understands that if anything were to go south, that it could possibly come back to him or
Yeah.
them or whoever
So-
whoever would have been.
You've got
So
to
they got to
offer at
cover
least
all ends. So
Yeah.
yes, they have a fall guy. In this case, they got two fall guys.
millions would probably get them to shut the fuck up.
I don't think the guards should be punished that much. Because honestly, the fact that
Well-
Jeffrey Epstein is dead, I don't give a fuck. He deserved to die.
Yeah.
But
Oh, damn.
like, that's how I feel. I'm not speaking for any of you
Hey,
guys.
the common law agrees with you.
But I do agree with that. So their actions, I mean, they're callous and kind of stupid, but I'm not mad at them.
Yeah.
I am mad at whoever is covering up whatever indiscretions they have. You know, because that tells me that there's a lot more that was probably going to be uncovered that now won't be,
Yeah.
and more bad people will be out there because of that.
No,
Yeah.
it's true. It's tricky because like I want, like, for instance, you're going to law and like I know you want to believe that the law will always work out in the favor,
It always doesn't, though.
and just always doesn't.
That's the
It's
part
just
that
it's
sucks.
unfortunate. And we were discussing that today too. It's like, you know, when you be in trial on, you know, a certain amount of counts or whatever, like there's a number of different things that you have to check the box off on. And if it's one of those things it's not checked off, then you can't be tried for that count. You're found innocent for that. But there's other things, like there's just so many things you break it down by, and you just keep going and keep going. So it's tricky, man. It's weird. But I do agree with you. I do agree that I don't think the guards should take all the fall. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere past them though, unfortunately,
Yeah.
because money does speak in law. Everybody knows that.
And at this point, you can get him for conspiring to kill him, even if you don't have, like, well, you can have the clear-cut evidence there. The two of them are gonna plead this excuse, which is it's not a defense. It's just not. An excuse
Yeah.
defense is either an infancy, intoxication.
It's at least negligence, right? Because they were actively not doing their job.
Yes, but I mean, the fact that the camera glitched doesn't look like it's a negligent act. You have the requisite intent to have a reckless act.
Yeah.
So by that, you could probably even raise it up a little bit to knowingly with the camera glitching. So right there, you could have a second-degree murder.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Was there somebody who was keeping track on these cameras at all times?
Yeah, them.
It was supposed to be that.
I think it was supposed to be them, but I don't know. It could have been somebody else.
It was supposed to be them, but they have multiple cameras throughout the entire facility.
Right.
And that's why, again, for it to be that one specific camera at that specific time that it happened, to just glitch at that very moment is it's too coincidental.
Yeah.
Too coincidental. And the simple fact that I would believe it more if it was like a whole system failure.
Right.
The entire system went down for a certain amount of time. Like, okay, kind of weird that it happened at that day, but I can buy it more if it was all of it. But it being that one specific camera, the odds are just too low or too high or however.
Plus, when you look at the if you look at the video, the camera is gonna glitch and all that shit, and then what shows up is him hanging. Like it legit looks like somebody was intending to kill him. At that point, you have the mens rea of purposeful. At that point, you can you can assume that these people were premeditating and deliberating this to the point where it's a capital crime. So they can be on death row. They could either be in prison for life because of this. But you know, even if they weren't the main guys, they're still gonna go down because you punish the accessory or the principals in the second, based off of the principal, you know, who orchestrated it all, which can be considered them.
I just ask because if I'm going based off how movies are, there's always somebody who's supposed to be keeping an eye on the camera.
Well, that's the thing about movies. Movies are there to entertain you. Movies aren't there to give you the specific facts about how the legal system works.
They make it as truthful as possible by keeping the facts as real as possible, but at the same time, they do have to like up their dramatic moments.
Yeah,
and you know,
watching
watching
Law and Order or like anything like that is not like, oh yeah, that shit's accurate. No.
Well, just assuming that is actually the case, that there is someone watching the cameras at all times, I feel like that can be taken up as far as the whole jail place. Just not them two guards per se, like even the whole security set. Like,
I do wonder if it was just one camera or if it was all of it, because I thought it was just one. But if it is just one, then wouldn't there be a camera where they were sleeping too? And you could see, like, obviously that information hasn't come out yet, but I'd be curious to see that then.
Yeah.
You know, were they really asleep? Were they just fucking around? Were they not even there?
Yeah.
You know.
See, that's where it's like it comes down to, you know, again, we go back to the situation like it being in the law and whatnot. All the evidence that just has to add up. As for right now, all the information that we have adds up to. Of course, it wasn't a suicide. Of course, somebody tried to kill him. Of course, somebody wanted him to shut the fuck up. But at the same time, guarantee there's way more evidence that we just don't know about and just hasn't came to light yet.
Yeah.
But that's just how the law system works. It works at a slow pace. I mean, look what's going on with the impeachment right now. That shit's going fucking slow. But think about it. How much crap is right there in front of you? I mean, you obviously don't have to know your job or be good at your job to have the job. Because look who we have running the show.
True.
I know, George. Goddamn. He's running the show.
But
he's fucking terrible at it.
But I said from the beginning, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But we're going to do it.
At least he was honest
about it.
All right. Yeah. So Trump.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Did any of you guys do any research, or was I the only one?
The orange man in the seats.
I had an audition today, so I did research for that.
Was it all day?
It was a good chunk of the day. It was a good chunk.
Well, my phone is constantly sending me articles about Trump.
Get it. Let's see.
So yeah, a couple stuff is printed out. Well, yeah, right. Like I just got a mobile printer on this phone.
That'd be cool.
That would be dope. Right.
Okay, guys, trademark that idea.
Go ahead, Apple.
Fuck.
All right,
this
so
is proof that we came up with it. Right.
CNN posted 3 hours ago that Trump knew about the whistleblower complaint, now at the heart of the impeachment inquiry, when he was released in Ukraine. So, what New York Times says? That's something New York Times says. I also heard this morning that the jury had just released the okay to start looking into witnesses and other people who can actually help the impeachment process happen faster. Because at first, I guess they just couldn't get to them because of subpoenas, however that stuff worked.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of big words I don't understand. So that's where you come in to help me feel smarter. But some like that now they're just now okay for witnesses to come in and actually start making shit happen as far as his impeachment.
Yeah.
Which, when we talked about it a couple podcasts ago, I believe, I still think it's a waste of time to impeach him now.
Is it really though?
Well,
I mean,
because
we've talked about this, so we already know where we stand and where Chris stands.
Yeah.
Well, from what I know, like it's so this impeachment process is not going to be like it's going to be overnight.
Yeah.
And obviously, like the new elections are about to start up pretty soon. I think what they're doing is they're starting it now because once his term is done, then that's when they can go forward and finish everything up. It's not going to be an overnight thing.
That's true.
It's not going to be done by the end of December.
That
so they're
is
getting
true.
all the evidence they can possibly get now because this process is going to take quite a while.
I will say this though, whether the impeachment process goes on successfully or not, I will say that the mere fact this is happening is enough evidence why he shouldn't be elected again. Yeah. For any dumbass Republican that's thinking about doing it, like this is your concrete reason why you shouldn't.
Okay,
well,
but
if you're saying it like that, then they would have had a reason to not re-elect Bill Clinton. I
or Obama.
Yeah, I mean,
for that matter.
when
I
you-
mean, both of those were like the Republicans tried to impeach Obama.
they just had
So-
no reason to put him on there because they
So
had
if
nothing
that's
to get him on.
the reasoning, like obviously I agree with you. I don't
Mhm.
want another term of whatever of Trump. But if we go just based off of this party has a problem with them, therefore they shouldn't be.
It's not that I'm saying it's a party. I'm saying that there's evidence. Because I'm sure that when Obama was in place, it was just a whole bunch of people complaining that just wanted him to be impeached
Well,
because he's
okay.
a black man, a Democrat.
Let me
running for
play the devil's advocate though. What has he done? What can you say verifiably he has done to deserve impeachment?
Trump?
Yes.
I'm not reading these articles right now. You're asking the wrong person. But I'm sure that there's somebody doing their job because, like I said, if it wasn't concrete evidence, this wouldn't even be a topic.
I don't think that's true. I mean, because you could again to talk to about Obama again, right? There was no concrete evidence in my view, but it was still a topic, right? I think there's always going to be that topic when you have two opposing parties.
Makes sense.
I mean, at the moment, the biggest thing that they have in the House is the Ukraine issue, and that's the big claim on there. That's why we have these impeachment inquiries. That everything else is pretty much piggybacking on. So all the House committees are starting to compile evidence from different state departments, just to get everything set up based off of this Ukraine call. That's one thing. Obviously, we still don't know who the whistleblower is, but that's just because you can't know who it is until trial, and that's also to protect the whistleblower himself, to avoid something like what happened to Jeffrey Epstein. Happening,
Is it Epstein or Epstein?
Either way, it's proper.
All right.
Epstein.
Okay.
Epstein.
English is hard.
EP.
People just have a.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, so this is all just to protect the whistleblower. But to say that it's concrete or not, I mean, obviously it's up to the court to decide, and that's what's going to happen if this impeachment goes through, which the House Judicial Committee right now is having their first hearing next week on the 4th, to actually bring in these articles of impeachment.
Look at him.
Yeah.
I was gonna shout that shit out. Good for you, Chris.
He pays attention. He knows.
I know. I'm proud of him.
And to actually bring in these articles of impeachment to see if it's even worth proceeding. If he gets impeached, then we have to go through a removal proceeding, which is to actually take him out of office, and that's going to be held with the Senate.
Well, I think you've said it yourself, Chris, that no matter how this turns out, the likelihood of getting him actually out of office through this is very small.
Yeah.
Like, and I was reading today about how the Senate has decided to keep pushing it to the House. Adam Schiff, I guess, decided that. And I thought it was interesting, but also kind of stupid. Because I just don't see anything happening. I just don't. I get that, maybe it's a show of force or to get Democrats invigorated. Yeah. But I think it's, in a large part, it's a waste of our tax money. And I know I sound like a Republican saying that. but it's true. Like what if nothing if nothing is going to come from it, then why waste money on it?
Well, I mean, something could come from it.
There's stuff coming out of it. There's stuff coming
There's
to light
information, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's information that's coming to light that hasn't been told up until now, and it's looking bad on Trump. Now, I'm not saying that's stuff that's solid evidence for impeachment right off the bat. I'm not saying that, but it's information that's definitely making people look at like, well, okay, how come there's this much shady stuff that's going on when we've been supporting you this entire time, and now, what do you, this is going against what I've been supporting you for. So he has supporters backing out and going against him.
Does he really?
He does.
Because who?
So there's certain states that have been switching over. There've been certain Republicans that have been switching over.
Which Republicans and which states?
names.
Because
Come on,
I
man.
did the research.
Oh, okay. Well, then
So I couldn't find anybody. That was my issue. Is I feel like everybody who's been supporting him has continued to support him. And then at the most, you'll get Republicans that say, oh, well, if we do find out with 100% evidence that he did do this, then of course I'll change my vote. Yeah. But they don't, Then they still have not gotten there. And I'd love for you to be right. And maybe I just didn't do enough research.
Well, it depends, because depending on which. So I've done research about, as far as like if you're looking for something specific. So if you're looking on the Republican side, you're
Yeah.
only going to get information from the Republican side.
Yeah.
And I found out for hard evidence in class in college because I paid attention.
Oh, look
this
at
one
you
time,
in college.
Depending on
Must be
on
nice.
where you stand, there's an algorithm. There's an algorithm to everything that you look up on. So if you're only looking up certain Republican information or just certain topics, it's going to revolve. Everything you find is going to be revolving around that. And it goes. Same thing goes. So let's say red and blue. If you're only looking for something specifically blue, you're only going to get information about blue.
Yeah.
And more than likely, it's going to be in that favor. Now, if you're, and the same thing goes for red. So I've probably heard information that's only giving me that specific information.
Yeah.
And you probably saw on the other side. So we both might be right. We both might be wrong. Either way, I'm not. Again, like I do think it is a waste of time. I don't want him for a second term.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the fuck. I mean, it's
You might as well just finish what you started.
everything that I've
made it
seen
this
at this
far.
time
Well,
right now. It just
I mean-
what I've been seeing as far as the presidential, I get the president that title has just been diminished. I
Yeah.
personally just don't give a fuck about it anymore. I used to see it as like from what I know, from what I grew up with.
Yeah.
It was like that is the title of the title. That is the Hokage of the United States.
No,
But
yeah.
now it's like, really? You obviously don't have to know what the fuck you're talking about. You obviously don't have to win an argument and give actual facts to become the president.
I know. It was so
So,
disappointing because I feel like when Obama became a president, it meant something to our nation.
Yes.
And now everybody that has come before him has somehow been a little bit dishonored because he became a president. That's how I feel because he doesn't measure up to any of those standards.
Yeah. But it's just weird. So that's why it's like
You got
for
a
me.
lot you want to say.
For
Well,
me,
I mean,
it's just
let's see.
okay.
This is the way I see it. I'm looking at it from legal context. We keep going on this. Why not just finish what we started? Let him finish his term. It doesn't look like he's gonna come back for a second term. We don't want him for a second term.
Yeah.
And we've said that the power of the president has diminished. However, I mean,
Not the power.
well,
The
okay,
title.
The yeah, with
Obviously,
the
the
meaning.
the title,
The meaning, the meaning behind
all right,
it.
the
Yeah.
meaning behind it is there. I mean, it probably diminished, but how Trump is using it. All right, so the Constitution obviously has 3 articles that specify the powers of each branch:
Yeah.
legislative, executive, and judicial.
Yeah.
Trump has his assigned powers that he's trying to expand. Every move that he's done, everything that he's been doing has pretty much been in an attempt to say that he's immune from everything. Sure, there are certain immunities that the president can't be tried for while he's in office, and that's true of what is it? Diplomats as
Yeah.
well, and any government official. But the president himself can't be held to this high standard that he can do whatever the fuck he wants and get away with it. Because that's exactly what he's doing. That's what he's been doing. He's obstructed justice. The Mueller report itself doesn't say that he's innocent.
Yeah.
It specifies a shitload of things that he is guilty. They just can't do anything to him at the moment.
Yeah.
And clearly he
sounds
has
upset.
gone to Twitter to respond to it and say, you can't do anything to me. I'm the president. This is all a bunch of fucking bullshit and a mad witch hunt. And that's his way of saying, oh, it's all a bunch of jokes. I'm going to get away with this either way.
Yeah.
What the House is trying to do is set precedent to ensure that the following president, if we have another one to replace this one, won't follow in the footsteps. Obviously, we're going to have another one, but we don't want a dictatorship.
Yeah.
That's what they don't want. They want to make sure that everything flows precisely, because at this point, we've had impeachment proceedings where we've actually impeached Bill Clinton, but we never removed them. We just haven't gone completely to the point of removal. So if this precedent is set, we have a system that we can follow and continue with.
Well, we would have gotten to the point of removal for Nixon, though.
Yeah, we could.
He just resigned before we did.
Exactly. And even like Trump right now is doing something that Andrew Jackson did a long ass time ago. He was another president that was up for impeachment. He got impeached, and there was a court order that said, you can get me impeached, but you won't get me removed. Go ahead and try.
Yeah.
If we allow Trump to do this, what's to say that every other president that comes after him isn't going to do the exact same shit?
Yeah.
So you want the impeachment process to be?
I wanted to go through.
Like all the way. 100%?
To set I wanted to go through to set precedent, to let everybody know that nobody is above the law.
Yeah. That's fair.
But I think that message. I agree with you, but I think that message only works if they get removed from office. If he gets removed from office, and I think like you've said before, the chances of him actually getting removed are incredibly small.
They're incredibly small, but there are a lot of things that are coming out that people didn't like see coming in the beginning. Like they assumed it was just going to be based off of Ukraine and those little conversations. However, there are a lot of evidence. Well, there is a bunch of evidence piling up from the State Department that people didn't know about, that just hushed up. And obviously these witnesses that are coming out and speaking are providing a bunch of shit that the House didn't expect to get. I mean, Trump even sent a letter where he, indirectly, but sort of directly, kind of ended up incriminating himself a little bit more.
What? Trump would do that?
No
way.
No way. I don't believe
that.
He's way too smart for that.
What? And at this point, he's been invited to the trial next week. So if he didn't show up or send like an attorney to be there in his part, then what? I mean, it looks like he's just trying to disobey the system.
Well, look, let's not forget that in the Mueller report, he wouldn't be interviewed. His lawyers wouldn't let him be interviewed because they were afraid that he was going to incriminate himself.
Exactly. So it's like what do you have to cover up? I mean, I get he's a big mouth, but like at this point, come out and just fucking talk. Just stop trying to hide behind the cameras. Or trying to hide in your little office. He says that the Democrats are doing all this shit. It's a wild witch hunt. Yeah. But why won't you just come out and say something in these committees? Like, be there. Don't just send shit.
Yeah, man, it's like Robert when we were working at Remember when we used to work at Starbucks? Remember when it was just the two of us?
Yeah.
And with this motherfucker? And he would have us clean outside just by ourselves? Do you remember that?
And Robert was chilling in the back.
Yeah. This motherfucker, he would be like, work, my Mexicans.
Yeah.
Work.
Yep.
Damn.
George, clean the floors. And I had already cleaned the fucking floors.
Damn.
And he's like, no.
Not well enough.
Well,
Damn.
Sorry, master. I apologize, master.
Damn.
No, he's the only one allowed to call me that.
That's true.
Why would you let him do that?
Because now I'm a step higher than you.
Look, this is why I wouldn't make him clean the floors. It's just you two.
So it was just us?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do have a story for you guys though, and it has to do with Starbucks, and it has to do with this motherfucker over here.
Did he sign Project Webback?
I think he wrote it up, dude. I think he's the one behind it.
Damn. Makes sense.
Wow.
But no, there is a story. So there was this time where we were closing the store, and it was just me and him working. And he went to the bathroom, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be right back. When I come back, we can close up and be done for the night." All right, cool. He left me the keys. Went to the bathroom. He was in there for a good minute. You know what? Screw it. It's already time. I'm gonna lock up. Did everything. So all he had to do was just count the money when he gets back.
Right.
But again, he's good. He's there for a good minute, to the point where I literally got on my phone and started playing Pokemon. I was waiting for this. Like, we're done. Like, I don't know what more you want me to do. I'm playing Pokemon. And he comes out, he's like, "George, I need your help." I'm like, "Why? What'd you do?" Because he said it as soon as he came out of the bathroom. He's like, bro, do we have a plunger? I was like, "What?" What do you mean? What do you mean, do we have a plunger? He's like, "Yeah, do we have one?" I was like, "I don't know. Why? What'd you do?" He was like, he told me, "I don't want you to go in there, but I do want you to see what happened." So I went, this motherfucker, I don't know what the hell he ate. I don't know what happened, but that water was completely brown.
All the water?
All of it. And it would not flush. It was to the point where it was like almost going to fall over, and I was afraid that if it fell over, all the poop would come too.
That's crazy.
I didn't know. We went to the bag. We were looking for anything and everything to try and like get it, and to the point where he started looking. He wanted to go get a plunger from like CVS, Home Depot, or what?
I don't know why you feel the need to tell this story.
Because
you could just keep it to yourself, like you said you would.
Damn.
Because why the fuck not? I feel like this is a story that has to be told, and if it's gonna be told, it should be told on the podcast.
It's gonna get
You've
cut.
been served.
It's gonna get cut.
Oh hell no! Look at it. We have a ton of time. It better not get cut.
You're right.
There's no reason to cut this.
You're all right. That explains a little hint of ass I smell in his bathroom. All right.
Well, hold on. We had to get it again. We had to unplug it. We could not unplug it because he was too embarrassed to like call in for anything because it was that bad, dude.
Wait, when was this?
This was a while. I think you're still working there.
Yeah.
But you weren't closing with us at the time, of course.
I think it was final season for him.
Could have been.
Probably.
Yeah, because he used to close all the time back then.
Yeah.
And so I think it was one night that he couldn't close, and so I closed for
Well,
him.
he never closes, so you know.
Oh, damn.
That's funny because it's true.
But no, so again, like, I didn't have school the next day, and he didn't have to work the next day. So I was like, dude, I'll be right here, dude. I got your back. We're gonna figure this out. We can't get a plunger because there's just nowhere in the area that we can go get one. So I was like, all right, bro, we're just gonna figure this shit out. We're gonna fucking
Literally, yeah. Literally, we gotta figure this shit out. Damn.
So we go to the back.
Imagine playing Tetris with shit.
That sounds messy as fuck.
It's like, wait, this piece goes there.
You know
right?
that blue cleaner that we used for like the drains and all that?
Yeah.
Did you guys dye this shit?
Huh?
Did you guys?
Are you
dye
talking
it?
about? Are you talking about the Ernex?
The Ernex? Is that what it's called? To
the-
clean the drains with?
Well,
That
no,
scrubber or
that
whatever?
wasn't. No.
Oh,
we
the
didn't-
toothbrush.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
the
Toothbrush. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
we tried that.
What the fuck? Did you guys put on gloves or did you guys just go in like that?
I put on gloves.
Oh.
Well, who do you think had to do it?
Dude, he made you?
He made me.
Wow.
This asshole made me. He didn't want to touch it.
I already spent enough time with it. It came out of me.
He asked the Mexican to do it because he knew I could unplug it.
That and because, you know, if it got on you, they probably wouldn't have been able to see it, right?
Project Webback.
I don't actually. Hey, you asshole. You fucking dick.
That makes sense.
So-
See if
I was
if it
planning
I'm
ahead.
going. I'm trying to get like unplug, but I'm being very careful because I don't want the water to drip back. So I'm like, I'm trying to be super careful. And he's like right there by the door, like cheering me on, like, "You got this, George. You got this." Like, shut the fuck up. I fucking hate you. Like, hold on. Hello? I'm going. He's cheering. I go. "You got this, George. You can do it." Like, shut the fuck up, Robert. Fucking hate you. I'm going. Well, I'm trying to like re-grip it again, so I pull it out. That's what she said. So I pull it out. And it starts coming back. The water's coming back out.
Oh, no.
I fucking ran. I ran out.
Have you ever seen like The Shining? You know
Yeah.
the water with the doors? Yeah.
It was like that. And you just see all the poop coming out. I just booked it. I booked it out. Robert's there at that. He started, "Oh my God, I got it on my feet. I was like, fuck you, that's what you get. Well, sure enough, I unclogged it. But the water came out.
The Mexican
And
did it.
Yeah, I did.
The Mexican did
So
it.
then, of course, we had to clean it all up. Robert didn't want to clean it, so guess who had to clean it?
You had to mop that shit up too?
Well,
Yeah.
in fairness, I did suggest that we leave it for Jessica,
Yeah.
and you said no. I'm not gonna let that happen.
Well, I mean, you were already enough shit with her. No pun intended.
Yeah.
No pun intended. So I didn't want it to be worse. And then two, it was like, how are we gonna explain? Like, oh yeah, we didn't know that happened.
No, I
homeless guy got
appreciate.
there.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I'm sure he
but,
had a fallback plan though.
Well,
Did he?
I don't know.
Did you?
I don't know.
I mean,
Well, I didn't-
I had
again.
some ideas.
Ah,
I
you're gonna blame it on George, huh?
fucking asshole. Yeah. He already made me clean up everything anyways.
Yeah.
I made him pick up the poop because I was not touching his poop.
Yeah, you weren't gonna
I
touch
was touching- so
those
he-
logs
Why
that came
don't
out
you
of
just
him.
call the biohazard team? Because isn't that considered
Because
a
he was too
biohazard?
embarrassed to do it. He was too embarrassed.
And by that time, we were already so far in. It was like, we can't.
I already had the fucking.
How are we gonna explain like to the biohazard team how this all happened?
So funny story is,
Funny story is some homeless man came in, took his shit, and rubbed it everywhere.
boom.
Done.
So funny story is, you motherfuckers are terrible at picking up cues.
I
This
picked
entire
up
story.
the cue, bitch.
What cue?
It was improv.
Oh! Did you pick up the first one that I tried to do? Because you motherfuckers wouldn't go on it. All right, y'all. So none of that story was real. That was all fake. I made it up because Robert over here is the new one for the improv story today.
I feel like I was the only one who helped you.
Yeah,
They straight up were
It was
just
very
like,
interesting. I'm like, wow,
You made up the story by yourself. You
this
didn't need our
motherfucker
help.
could
When
talk.
when I started it was when I said, remember when he used to make us do all that crap? And you were like, yeah. But then none of you just started all going against me. Like, that's not how it's supposed to go.
No, I was with you.
No, you were going against me.
No.
So I changed the
I
story up
just
completely.
wasn't involved with the Mexican part of it. That's it. Okay.
See, when
I was with you.
When you said that wasn't there, I'm like, well, I mean, I can't fucking help you out if I'm not there.
Yeah, that's fair.
So at this point, I'm just gonna start listening and asking questions like,
Well,
wow, really?
But that's why I said the first time. I said, remember when he would make us do that? And I thought you would catch that cue of like, oh, this is
Damn.
an improv story.
So he
I'm gonna
just-
keep it going.
He expected
But
us to
you
just
just
know that he
stopped.
was saying that Robert was
No, I
shitting
mean-
continuously, clogging
I
up the
mean-
toilet.
Well, initially he wanted to go with a racist story,
Yeah.
and then it just wasn't working, so he changed it up to.
Yeah, so
I was
Poo.
gonna add
Change it
to it.
real
I
quick.
was gonna say one time he dropped me off at the wrong house. He dropped me off at a cotton field.
That's not a house. That's a wallless house.
So yes, to say it again, that was a fake story, guys. Robert did not do any of that. He did not clog at least that toilet. I
Are
don't
you
know if
sure?
ever-
Because there was one time I came in and there was actually a toilet that was literally on the brink of just overflowing.
Oh, I don't know.
Robert?
That was from what
I no comment.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Ah, sounds about right.
Mostly not deny, but yeah, no, I can't confirm either.
But yes, so that was all made up. But I feel like it was a very good laugh for everybody.
It really
Oh, dude,
was.
Yeah, you did a good
Alright.
job. You did a good job.
You went with it. I
You're
was
an
like,
amazing
wow, okay.
storyteller.
Holy shit.
You're
Tell
an
me more.
ama-
What the fuck else did he do?
Dude, like you're an amazing storyteller. Like even with the story when you was like, yeah, Ty's by my side the whole time. Like that was a great story. It pissed me off at the end, but that was a great story.
Wait, remind me? What story
Oh,
was
when
that?
he was telling the story about the special ed kid always being with him.
He was not special ed.
I mean, he could have
Let's
been.
get that clear. He was not special ed. Definitely a space cadet. Definitely somebody. Definitely an oddball. But he was my friend. And it's nice to know I got another one.
Damn.
You know, I completely forgot that was in that podcast. I was like, even I thought like, where the fuck am I going with this? Like, oh wait, I know where we're going.
That was hilarious just because I did not see it coming. I was so sure that you were just trying to be like tell a story about a nice guy that you met that was a little bit weird.
Because that story is true. That story was true. It just happened to work out that I can finish it with bagging on Ty. It just worked out
Poor
perfectly.
Ty, man, I swear. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know. And he was so interested. Like,
I was
no
really
way.
interested.
He's like, dude, you're the best. Oh.
You need to start
Oh,
giving
man.
lessons in stories. I'd like to be
That
able
would be
to
nice.
tell stories like you.
All right.
So there was a like an exercise that we would do in class for when I was at NIFA, and it was
Yeah, what?
at NIFA at the New York Film Academy. NIFA.
All right.
Why? What'd you think I said? What'd you think I said?
It's just-
Russia.
That shit sounded made up.
English,
There's another made up story.
English is hard.
But there,
Knife.
it was an exercise.
I thought it was
would be-
NIFA.
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 All right. So
There
an
was an
exercise.
exercise that we would do. Everybody's like in a group like this. One person gets up and they tell 2 lies, 1 truth.
Oh yeah.
They tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
They tell a story. So they give 2 truths, or they 2 lies and 1 truth. They don't say anything, and the group has to guess what it is. And the
Yeah.
whole thing about it is like to try and pick up like little subtle things that they'll do. Like when they're telling the truth, how comfortable are they, and what do they do? And when they're telling the lie, what are they doing?
Wait, is it 3 different stories or within one story?
No, it's 3
There's-
different stories. It's
okay.
3 different stories. So it's like, I've been held up at gunpoint. I bought a villa
Yeah.
in Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been stung by a stingray.
We should play that game on here because I used to play that with my dad when I was little too. We'd
Yeah.
do that and we'd go around and he'd always know which one was the lie because he'd seen me all my life.
Yeah.
But it works.
Motherfucker.
It works a little bit better now. What's up?
Are you
So
just
which
raising-
one is the lie out of what you just said?
Which one do you think is a lie?
He's been. It's
Out of-
not,
you
the
mean out of
truth.
those
The
3?
truth is, they held up at gunpoint. He's Mexican. It's gonna happen to him regardless of.
So
whether
then
he-
you for sure didn't buy a villa in Vegas, but you really been stung by a stingray?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Like the crocodile hunter. Yeah, that's why we're connected.
Wow.
Am I the only one that didn't know about this guy?
I could have sworn I've said it. No, I haven't. Said it.
No, John said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, John
John
said he's
definitely
been
said-
stung by a not a stingray, but
jellyfish.
a jellyfish.
I've
Yeah,
been stung by a
the
stingray.
Also,
man
you
of
watched
war
that
or
episode.
something.
No, I figured out.
I
it was
have
on
never
there.
bought a villa in Vegas.
Yeah, that's
Fuck, you think I can afford a villa in Vegas?
yeah.
Fuck
that was weird.
But I have been held up at gunpoint.
What
No.
the fuck is a villa?
All right, so we
Have you
have
seen The Hangover?
Uh,
That's a villa.
okay.
we have like 9 more minutes. So why don't we really quick tackle the No Nut November thing?
Okay.
We're
What
about
do you
to
what
do
do
a
you what do you want to do?
Well, I think Ty
seven,
can take us
6,
off with it.
5,
All right.
4, 3, 2,
So,
1.
the volume is down.
sound's not on.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. But I do miss the watching the fire. That was
It's all right.
that
I'll
was
put
There's
it.
fire right there.
I'll put it back on
It's not
after.
good enough.
All right. No Nut November.
All right. So, for those of you that don't know what No Nut November is, it's basically a time where,
You don't nut.
yeah, but for good reason.
That's
yeah,
wait. What's the reason?
Yeah, is it good reason? I feel like it's just reason.
it's actually to raise awareness for testicular cancer.
Really.
Yeah,
I
So,
feel like that's just an excuse to.
that too.
Hold back.
But it's in reality, it's the reason for it is to raise awareness for testicular cancer. It's No Nut November and No Shave November. So you can do either one. What I used to contribute to No Shave November. I would as soon as I was done trick or treating, I would shave and then just go the whole month with a baby face. It was embarrassing.
Does No Shave November apply to everywhere or just your face?
For guys, it's for their face, and for girls, it's their legs.
Oh,
So yeah, if a girl did contribute,
I don't think that was the main question.
Yeah, that wasn't the question. I was
It
talking
wasn't.
about the genitals.
then
Do you?
Because I mean,
do you-
technically that would
I-
revolve
I
around
get-
No Nut November.
like,
it
do
has to
you
do with-
do you shave on No Shave November? Do you shave your genitals? Are you allowed to do that, or is that against the rules?
I guess it would be okay because the rules for No Shave November really is just like if you're a guy, don't shave your face. If you're a girl, don't shave your legs. So it's like everything else is
Fair game.
fair game.
Ah,
All right.
Shark
As
bait,
far
hoo-ah.
as No Nut November, I always fail.
Yeah.
All right.
When did you fail this month?
12/01 November 1st.
not even a day.
I know. He really did not last very long.
Yeah, as soon as I was done watching Pornhub, I remember, oh yeah, it is November. I'm like, well, my man.
Ah, shit.
I'm like, all right,
man, that's
damn.
15 years in a row now.
Shoot.
I guess he just doesn't want to raise awareness about testicular
I'm
cancer.
sorry. I
Damn.
just
Did you at least go the rest of the month?
Nope.
Or you just
Nah.
said fuck it?
I was like, I
It was like-
already
it was
started.
like
I already
3
started
hours
off
later.
bad. I'm like, I'm sorry. Mia Khalifa's irresistible.
Mr.
I
Wyatt.
have not broken it.
Oh.
Oh, you actually
It's
did?
not a real compliment, but I have not.
I really. Was that intentional, or has it just happened?
At first it wasn't intentional because I didn't even know about it,
Yeah.
and then I did hear about it. I didn't think I was gonna last, but I actually, you know what? It's just something like I told you. I'm not drinking right now until February,
Yeah.
so it is also something that's like, you know what? Like it's a change that I want to make in my life as far as like, you know, just for myself.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys know, I've been single for about 8 years. Yeah.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
What do we consider single? I mean,
Like an actual real
He's
girl,
dated,
like an actual
but he
girlfriend.
hasn't been in an actual.
I haven't had a real girlfriend in a while.
Like
That's
you
what's
guys.
I
both
feel like there are
confirmed.
some girls that would
There-
object to that statement.
They'll be like,
There
bitch, I
would
thought
be.
I was your
up.
girlfriend.
There would be, but it's just
You weren't important enough.
Well, you
I
that's
didn't-
you how you saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get you.
how I saw it. I didn't see it going
Yeah.
further.
Mhm.
That wasn't
Mhm.
enough for
So
you.
yeah, but like a real like relationship where it's like I actually saw this going, you know, a long run, if
Yeah.
not the long run.
Long term, yeah.
So, but yeah, like I haven't had something like that in a long time.
Oh, I feel you.
But it's also something that I don't want to rush into. I don't want
Mhm.
to just get into the first relationship I
Yeah.
find. So it's like, all right, let me just try and have some self-discipline, some self-control.
Makes sense.
Let me at least make it through November. No, through November.
November, that's what's up. That's a new thing.
November. Let me
November.
make it through November, and we'll go from there.
Or as Ty would put it, November.
Well,
Boom skis.
November is universal. All right, there is November or Movember, no Nut November, November.
November.
All right, hey, it's a lot of members out there.
I remember.
You're a member.
Exactly. Exactly.
Where are we on time?
Alright.
Wait, hold on. Have you
Oh.
you have broken? Have you broken? Not broken?
Of course I've broken it, damn it. It's me we're talking about.
That's
But not in that way. I only broke it because I was stressing.
Oh, I
was
feel
losing
you.
my mind.
Yeah,
It
when
is-
you're
Yeah.
stressed out, it can be.
When you're stressed,
that's
it's a great reliever. But if you look at me, I haven't shaved. So
So who's you watching?
Huh?
Who's you watching?
who was I watching?
Yeah, when you broke.
Who's
Gia Page.
How do you remember that? is that not like? No, that's weird, right?
No.
Because
Like,
sometimes
I mean, you can back me up with Riley Reid, right?
I know of Riley Reid. I don't see how she's like.
Have you seen? Oh, I'm gonna send you a link later.
I don't want your link.
Can I receive this link too?
Sure, I'll send it.
All
to you.
right.
No, but the like.
So
Is it
porn
burned
stars-
in your
so-
brain though? Like
No,
when
that's the
So
thing. When
porn
it's,
stars are just as popular as actual movie
as-
stars.
yeah,
Yeah.
they really are.
It's literally the entire world. They have awards and things like
Yeah,
that.
the
It's
AVN.
literally, and they have like top.
Comic, they have
most
adult
seen
con.
or most.
Yeah.
Like Comic Con.
No, I'm not asking how he remembers a porn star's name. Like I understand that,
Oh.
but like the person and thing that he was watching exactly when it happened.
Well,
Like-
that's the last time. That's the last time you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird. I wouldn't remember that.
Well, I mean,
He has to remember a shit ton of crap for his
That's
career.
true. That's
Yeah.
I'm
true.
pretty sure you can remember that.
That's
yeah,
true.
that's one little name in there in the system.
Yeah.
In the
One
system.
in the system.
In the system.
In the
Mr.
hey.
Bigfoot over
I'm
here.
gonna start calling my brain the system. That's fire as shit. That's boss.
Mine's a database.
All right, because
The
my system
database.
says,
I like that.
All right, y'all robots. We're 20
we at? Where
seconds
we at,
into
Ty?
hitting the hour mark. So
all right.
if you
Ty.
guys want, we can start taking it away.
I think this was a good one. I like this one. Thank you guys.
Of
It was,
course,
no
of course.
I think this was one that Chris really got into, because obviously like we have to deal with a lot of like.
Oh yeah, once we
Political
talked
stuff.
about the impeachment, he was
Oh, yeah.
in.
He was
He
passionate.
was
in it.
going for
He
it.
was
I was in
passionate.
it.
He was
He
pretty.
balls deep.
Yes.
He was pretty good with Jeffrey Epstein too.
He was.
He was.
Yeah.
He was a little bit too deep.
That's what they. That's
Only
what
you would know, Ty.
That's
I
what I've
mean,
been told.
we could all find out right now if he nutted right now. We just gotta
Ty, take us out, damn it.
Damn. All right. Fine. So I just want to give you guys a little piece of some advice. You know, for anybody out there that's suffering from any type of mental, internal suffering, whatever, just always keep in mind there's hope. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and use the impeachment as the example. All right. Chris has stated several times that Chris and Robert has stated several times that the chances of him being fully impeached are slim to none. But they're slim, not none. All right. With that being said, there still is hope. And just like that, even your life can just like that, even your life, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, guys. So
It's in Ty's ass. Pastor Ty.
Pastor Tiberius, or should I say Reverend Missionary?
Reverend Fillmore.
Chill the fuck out, Theodis the Black.
Oh
Chill
yes,
out.
Theodis the Black.
You are
Yes.
Theodis the
All
Black
right.
and will forever be Theodis the Black.
I love that we have all these callbacks.
Seriously.
So once again, as I like to say now, if you made it this far in the podcast, a million thanks goes to your ears, because I don't understand how you guys make it this far. I still struggle to listen to my own voice. So
Ditto.
Yeah,
No, not about my voice.
about his, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
All right.
Welcome back to You This Separated.
All right. I don't even like my singing voice, but hey.
I actually like your singing voice.
Thank you.
Do you want to go out on
Oh.
the song?
Ooh, I don't know what song to sing. I don't like being put in the spot.
Then how do you expect
I
to
wanna
be put on
be
the spot?
the very best,
Oh,
like
see?
no
One
one
ever
ever was.
Bum, bum,
Don't
bum,
act like
bum.
you know the words if you don't know the
I
words.
only know that line because you sing it all the fucking time.
Fuckers, Y'all,
All right.
y'all mother. Okay.
I'm sorry. But girl, I gotta leave.
I'm trying to remember the lyrics to this song.
But I gotta go right now.
Where to?
I gotta go home. Cause I don't know, it's late. I don't know if I want to work out with you anymore. I think I'm just going to sleep. So with that being said,
That could be a
y'all.
workout too.
With that being said, it's been Ty.
Robert.
Chris.
I'm Batman.
That ain't Batman. That's George.
Yeah, fucking
Or
George.
Jab for short.
You would jab?
I don't understand. I don't understand. And just remember, guys, just stay away from the yellow snow. Have a good night, good day, good whatever. You've been served.